where we share our stories about how we overcame past trauma and where we are now. Welcome to the Queens Talk, Queens. Hello, everybody. I am Leslie from Brown Girls Embrace, and welcome to the Queens Talk. Here on the Queens Talk, we honor and celebrate women on their self-love journey, about their past and how they've overcome. And we also motivate other women to start their self-love journey as well. Tonight, we're doing something a little bit different. I have a couple with me tonight, Alan and Peaches. They are joining us tonight, and they're going to share their stories. They have a powerful, wonderful story and a lovely couple I want to share with you guys. But also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, follow me on Instagram at Brown Girls Embrace _LLC. And also, because I'm in the self-love community, I have self-love products. So go check out my products. It's shea butter-based products of my hair collection and my body butter collection. And I'm going to go ahead and bring our couple on into the room. Hello.
Hey. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
We're good. Can't complain.
Yes. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Peaches or Alan, whoever wants to go first, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us your name, what you're from, and what you do for a living.
Awesome. First of all, Leslie, thank you so much for inviting us to your show. This is an awesome opportunity. And my name is Peaches. And of course, that is my first and real name because people don't believe me. I am from Delaware originally, but me and Alan, we moved to Maryland. So
I'm Alan. That's my name is Peaches. I'm married for almost 6 years now. Anniversary's coming up in about 2 months.
Yes, you better remember that.
I'm trying. I'm a youth service specialist and IT professional at Yearn Academy in Wilmington, Delaware. So got a little commute every day, but I like it.
And I didn't even tell you that I'm currently a therapist. So I don't there.
I'm going to circle back around though. Tell us what you do for a living.
Yes, I'm currently a therapist, working with clients that are dealing with substance abuse as well as mental health. So, that's my passion and that's what I do. So can't complain.
Nice. And I want to address Hope Still Stands is in the room. Thank you. So feel free to comment in the chat and we will address some of these comments in the chat when we get to it. Okay, so the first question I had is for Peaches. Tell us a little bit about how things was health-wise during your childhood.
Okay, so when I was younger, I always was like a chubby kid, right? But I received my period really, really early. I want to say at the age of like 9 or 10. And from that point, I used to have irregular menstruals. But I just thought, because I was young, it didn't really catch up to me, so whatever. But as time went on, it was still irregular. And I found out that I had PCOS. So not at that time, but later on in life, I found out that I had PCOS, which is polycystic ovary syndrome, which causes infertility. And it's like a male hormone, it's high levels of male testosterone. It causes obesity, acne, and the biggest thing is infertility. So let's go past like my, adolescent years. When I got to be in my teenage years, it still happened, like irregular periods. I didn't really care because I was like, okay, whatever. But as I started getting older, I knew something was wrong. So I went to my gynecologist and he was like, at the time was a man, and I wanted to get a pap smear to see, if anything was wrong. He was like, are you having sex? I was like, no. He said, are you okay? I was like, yes, I just want to make sure everything is fine. He looked at me really, really weird. But I was like, I just need to know what's going on. He was like, everything is fine. Everything is normal. So later on, I used to get like hair on my face. I had to get like all these hair treatments to get it all removed. But I knew something was bothering me. And it wasn't just...
What age was this around?
Okay, so I want to say around the age of 20, around 20 is when I start like really looking into my health.
Mhm.
And I just knew something was wrong. It was messing up my insecurity. Like I always was like in the mirror, like I'm not gonna lie, like picking hair from my face because, and even my husband experienced that with me. He used to catch me in the mirror, like picking, like, what are you doing? I'm like, I can't stop, it's growing. And it just really caused a big insecurity in me. And I just didn't understand. So then I heard the word PCOS, right? I'm like, what is that? And then when I could identify it, I was like, thank God, at least I know it's just not me. So I was like, okay, is this the reason why I can't lose weight? Is this the reason why like all these things are going on? And yes, it was. And it didn't really hit me until me and Alan were trying to get married. Oh, well, not trying to get married, trying to have a child after we were married. And it's like, we can't have children. And it was really hard. I'm like, okay, so what's the medications? What I need to do? What do I have to go through to, have a child with this? At that time, they didn't know. Now I know it's like, okay, you got to change up your diet, exercise or whatever. But at that time, I'm like, I didn't know what to do. So yeah, I've been dealing with this all my life. And hopefully, change is happening.
Yeah. So how was you dealing with all that emotionally? Was you and Alan together at that time, or when did Alan come?
So he's been in my life since 2013, right? So we've been together for 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we've been together for a long time, and I'm not gonna lie. When I first met him, I was like, all right, I know this is not gonna work. So I'm gonna be honest with him. I think I played a joke on you. I was like, would you be with me if I had this, that, and the third? He was like, yeah. I was like, if I, had, hair all over my face, would you be with me? Because I was like, it's not gonna work. I might as well tell him it's not gonna last. And he was like, yeah, like it doesn't matter. And so mentally, it still affected me because I didn't feel pretty. I didn't feel like I was enough. I didn't feel like, like, oh my gosh, I'm transparent. I'm a very transparent person. So you're going to get the real me. And so I'm like, I can't be in the bathroom shaving my face and you shaving. Like, we can't do that. Like, why would you want to enter a relationship? And it's just absolutely awkward. But he truly accepted me for who I am, who I was at that time, even when I gained so much weight, because of it. He's always been there. So love this guy.
Yeah. Oh, that's a love story. And Leanna, she says, and I keep pronouncing her name wrong. She says, totally can relate. And she also says, oh, sis. And I know you guys kind of have a similar story. And we'll get into, Leanna, we're going to get into you later, how you came into the story. But Alan, so you and her were going through this, you guys get married. Wait, first of all, back up. Tell us how y'all met 10 years ago.
Go ahead, babe.
So this one was, I got out of school, the training, the university, just finished. Didn't graduate, but I finished, if that makes sense. So I was at a summer job.
We're going to talk about that first.
I was a cook at Bright Horizons Daycare Center. And I was on Instagram. This one, my Instagram really got popping, and what I mean. Everybody was just on there.
You're breaking up a little bit, Alan.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, scoot up. I don't know if you can scoot up or something or to the mic. I can hear Preacher's fine, but but go ahead.
All right. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna start over. Basically, 2013, just finished school, went to I was summer job, and on my break, I was sitting in the car, and I was going through Instagram just before we started doing reels and all this other stuff. But I seen a picture. I'm like, oh, I know her. She do poetry, and I started liking some pictures. And it's funny about the whole poetry thing. I'm just run this down real fast. She's a poetry in the group called Second Conception, right? It was her and best friend, right? And I was at my mother's church, and they were performing, and I was hyped. I was like, oh yeah, Second Conception, oh yeah. But I was only screaming out Tiffany's name, Karen Lamar, because I didn't know her name at the time. Mm-hmm. So, fast forward, I seen her on Instagram. I'm like, okay, I like a couple pictures. She had a couple nice drinks on there. And after that, she slid in my DM.
Okay, he's messing it up. He's messing up the whole story. He took okay, he's telling the truth on that. But he's missing out the part where he was the photographer at the church, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
So she was a part of a singing group at the time too. Like, this girl got many talents. Like, she's the whole beat, right? Yeah,
they finished the work.
She I was hired as a photographer for the live recording. I was backstage, and when I seen her, you know, I said, "Hey, what's up, everybody?" She looking at me on the and stuff.
Doing the most.
And, then she slid in my DMs on Facebook.
Okay, and no, you were right. You were right. I did say hello. How you doing? He's out of control. But yes, from that point, you know, we just kind of, you know, went back and forth. And then I was taking a break off of social media, and I was like, usually I just cut guys off. And I'm like, I ain't doing this, whatever. You catch me when I come back on there after 20 days. It was, but I gave him my number. I said, if you want to continue this conversation, you know.
That's what I said.
I said, call me. You know, I wasn't expecting him to call me. I was like, it is what it is. You know, I'll see him around. But he did. You slid in my text messages. Okay.
Cool. So y'all get together and the connection is made and everything like that.
Yeah.
When did y'all get married and decide y'all want to have kids and, you know, the whole nine?
We got married September 30th, 2017. The whole kid thing. At one point, we was like, we're going to stay, you know, we don't want to have no kids right away. You know, just so we can live and everything like that. But then, it got to a point where.
Scoot up some, Holland. Scoot up some.
It got to a point where we had several conversations, and one of the conversations was real big. We're getting older. I want to kind of start like having kids and everything. And me, I'm like, we ain't been married. Like we ain't been married long. Like, can we go to breaks a little bit? So I was a little apprehensive at first, and then I started, like, she started breaking down to like what was, you know, going on with us for like the whole PCOS thing. And like, she said it before, but I was like, okay, when we have kids, we're gonna have kids. I mean, people have kids all the time. Like, that's just how I look at it. And she explained everything. I was like, oh, okay, now it's a little bit different. I still was a little bit apprehensive, you know what I mean? But it's like, all right, well, let's start working on it. We started working on it. I want to say maybe, what's this? This is 2023. We probably started working actively 2016.
2016, actively? We got married 2017.
I mean, oh shoot, I said the wrong time. I meant, when did we move to the apartment?
2017.
2017.
Yes.
After
we got married.
I'm sorry.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. I always wanted to be a mom, right? In my head, we've been married for 10 years, all right? We've been married for a long time. So I'm like, it doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and have the baby. It is what it is. But at that time, I was, when we got married, I was in my first year of my master's program. So, you know, I was like, okay, I don't think that is the best right now because like all my time is studying. And we talked about it, but that was never something like, if it's like, if it happened, it happened. It don't matter. But But then here goes our story where like now when we tried after we, you know, cause we, if I could be honest, we never used a condom. We never ever, since we've been married, had a condom. So it was like we always been actively trying. I feel like if you don't have no condom, you're actively trying. If you say fun, I say try. So you know, you threw me off. But the thing was like every time, you know, we wanted to try, we always like had an excuse when we had to explain to people why we're not married. My excuse was, listen, we in school. You know, he was finishing his bachelor's. I was trying to finish my master's. And then the next excuse was like, okay, we need to get a house. We're in a small apartment. It's bigger. It's smaller than this whole, what? It was a room. It was so small, 1 bedroom. I was like, we need a bigger house. And then it's like, okay, we needed something else. And then all the excuses ran out. And it's like, it still didn't happen. So that's when we were like, okay, we really need to go ahead and figure something out.
So that's when I know, because Alan, you had to go to the doctors again and figure out why you wasn't, you know, conceiving.
No, so what sparked it was the amount of time that, you know what I mean, we get it in. Ain't nothing happening. So I'm like, all right, you sitting there saying you got PCOS. I'm not gonna do what I need to do. Talk to the doctor.
So usually guys don't say, let me go to the doctor and figure out if it's something going on my end. So tell us what happened. It's kind of screwed up a little bit more because it was breaking up. Well, I don't know what the mic is. Yes, better.
So we were went to the doctor and talked to the doctor about what was going on as far as like, you know, what our goals were and everything. Doctor said, hey, we're going to run some lab work. Came back with a few days. She said I was pre-diabetic. The doctor said I was pre-diabetic. And we got that taken care of. But she also said I had low testosterone.
Drinking some water. Okay.
She said I had low testosterone, so I was like, okay, let me put together. Trying to put together a plan to you know counteract that. For the most part, it was basically losing weight. I lost weight, put it back on, so I guess we got back at square one. And you know, then we're gonna go, you know, go forward from there. And that was really medically all I've done. Like, I mean, now like it's a little more different. Like we have before we didn't have a gym membership, it was just doing what we could, you know, when we could at that point in time. This is around pandemic time, and our 2021, and my job, we had just came off of a year and a half of being remote at the school. So we came back and we were hybrid. So some of the kids that went to the school, they really didn't start showing up until between October and December. So I was able to work out at my job, you know what I mean, before the kids even got there. Sometimes we wouldn't even have kids, so it would be like I literally had a whole day to myself of just trying to get in shape. And it still didn't happen. I'll say that. It still didn't happen. So that just kind of leads us to where we are now as far as.
Well, you know what I want to say? I'm sorry to cut you off, but I want to say with Peaches being diagnosed, then you had something that you were diagnosed with, the low testosterone. I want to say that it doesn't seem like anything was shined on as a negative light. It's just like, okay, let me see, how do I work out? How do I lose weight? Like, okay, the kids come in at a certain time. Okay, I'm gonna work out and try to lose some weight in. That's what I like about you guys, is that you guys were positive, still positive throughout all of what you're going through with Alan. And I want to ask you, what were you guys going through emotionally? Like, okay, something's going on with my body, Peaches, and something's going on with my body, Alan. Like, what were those different emotions that you were going through as a couple?
Honestly, I was depressed. I was in a state of depression. And the reason why I can say that is because when I knew it was me, I knew that I can get it together, right? I was like, okay, if I got to lose weight, I'll lose weight. And I did, right? I lost 70 pounds. And then when I was like, okay, if I need to do this, I can do it. But then when I heard that he had it, it was just like, dang, another thing, you know?
Right.
And so that caused, for us, that caused friction in our marriage because I know I am a controlling person and I worked on that. So thank God I worked on it. And he knows. And one thing that I couldn't do was control him. I could never, I don't even want to control my husband, but I couldn't control that part. I can't say, all right, babe, let's go ahead, let's work out. He was like, listen, I don't work out when I want to work out. You know what I mean? and that's okay. And that's okay because that was him, right? He's a man. I'm not trying to make him or push him, to do anything. But it was at the same time, I didn't know how to talk to him about it. I didn't know how to say, all right, what do you think? Right? Wow. What should we do? And so it was almost me saying, all right, babe, listen, you better eat low carbs or no carbs. You got to eat this. We need to eat fruits and vegetables, no meat, And it was just like, it was so much put on health. It was so much put on this baby that we lost sight of our marriage. We lost sight of the love. And honestly, together, you can say something different if you think so, babe, but together we were falling apart. So I was depressed. Go ahead, baby.
No, and I was saying that because you are a therapist and people think that when you're a therapist, you don't go through depression or you don't go through the different emotions. And, if you're a therapist, then the home life looks great. And that's great that you're being transparent. Like, even though I'm a therapist, we had problems in our marriage because of the situation that we in, that we had no control over it on either one of us,
Mm-hmm.
So,
the thing that really got me was, even, I'm not going to give it a book. Sex was, I'm not going to say it was horrible, but it wasn't fun. It was a job. It wasn't even fun anymore.
Wow. Like, that sucks. Like,
yeah. It's supposed to be fun. That's what got mad. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? And it was more so, all right, babe, let's look at when I'm ovulating. Let's look at this. Let's look at that. Like, we're trying so hard to figure out, okay, when's the best time, knowing that these are the conditions that we had. Like, when I came down to it, like, I ain't gonna lie, I couldn't finish.
Oh, you being honest. Come on, honesty. Come on, Trent.
I'm like, all right. Okay. All right. We gotta be.
It's the movement for me, Leslie. It's the movement.
It was such a job. Like,
it felt nice. Because y'all was actively trying to create a baby. So it's just like, we have a goal in mind. This is what we got to do to get the goal. Like,
Right.
So, but after that's that same, because y'all still are actively trying. Mm-hmm. But after that kind of cloudy cloud or whatever, what did you do to say, okay, you know what, we're gonna get a list and this is what we're gonna do to try to get to our goal of what we're trying to do? What was next after that?
Honestly, we had to literally sit down and talk. We had to write down what we need to work on, take the baby out of our head, take our stressful jobs away, take all our finances. What do we need to do to work on us, to work on our marriage? Because if this fails, there is no baby. Like, it's nothing. And so when we had this, when I say this conversation, it probably was like 2 to 3 hours. It broke us, but it built us up. Right. And so we literally had to put God first because we left him out, right? We left him out. And because of that, our focus was wrong. We were trying to do something that was literally out of both of our control. And so when we started to turn our problems to God, we started turning like this our challenges, you know, our negative thoughts, this baby, our job. When we started turning all these things over to God, I tell you this, it was like a weight was lifted and we both connected on that spiritual level. And then everything literally started to change. And I mean, we started praying, we started reading, we started just doing things together. We just started having fun again. And that's, and I mean, that's the part of the brand. I call it ministry, because at the end of the day, it's like we have to empower ourselves to trust God through this journey, because if we don't trust him, this journey is definitely going to be difficult, as we already experienced.
Yeah, that's a nice way. And I want to address Hope Stan's comment. She says trying to conceive and can get really overwhelming. So glad you put God first and started to communicate more. Yes, I agree.
Yes.
I think a marriage is definitely, you need that three-strand cord. What is it? Threefold cord?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You need God in the relationship for anything to grow and prosper. Like, he's the creator of all. He controls. He can move mountains. We can't. So you got.
That's right.
No.
That's right.
So let's segue into, okay, so how'd you start this brand? You know, this t-shirt in her garden. Like, that is so like peaceful, like her garden, because you're trying to grow your garden and get this baby going.
Thank you. So honestly, this brand been in my my heart for a couple of years, but we just put it out last year. And I just wanted something to connect with other people. Like, I didn't know who else was going through this. You don't hear about it in church. You don't hear about it from your friends. A lot of your family members, they don't talk about it. They don't understand. So I literally threw it out there to see, can somebody connect with me? Can somebody connect with us? And I just, searched through the Bible. I was like, all right, ain't nothing new under the sun. These stories are already been told. Let me go ahead and look in the Bible and see, who else experienced this. And then that's why hers is for Hannah, Elizabeth, Rachel, and Sarah. Now, there's other women that were in the Bible, but I was like, hers, okay, that's cute. It was a cute aspect to it. And then it was just about how they prayed to God. They knew that they wanted to conceive, but God had a different plan, right? And still gave them their blessing. But in some cases, it humbled them. It brought them closer to them, right? Because God can be like, listen, Peaches, listen, Alan, you may want this, but I want you more. So even though you're going to get this baby, I need you to literally commit to me before I give you something that you always wanted, because I want this for you. And so I was like, all right, this is what it is. And then the garden part was literally, it's a beautiful thing. And I think about faith, right? I think about how gardens grow. I think about how, you have to continually water it. You have to continually nurture it. And so, I was like, our faith, it has to continue to grow, because if it don't grow, you don't grow, and it becomes stagnant. You become stagnant. And, and in just that scripture, now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen or not seen. And so it's like, even though I don't see it, my faith still has to grow, because I know it's going to come. And I mean, it took me a while to get to this point, sis. Let me tell you, because I was like, listen, I ain't got it. God, what are you telling me? Because I was angry with him at a point. I was so mad with God, because I was like, God, you know my heart. You know the thoughts. I wanted this before I wanted everything else, right? This brand, and I think I told this to Tanika Gray. I said, listen, if I receive any success from this business, this was not the success that I wanted, because I wanted a child more than I wanted this business. And I had to explain to her, because like this right here, this is stretching us, it's humbling us, and it's really like bringing us together. But it's our faith in God, our faith for each other. It's continually growing, because we're continually growing. And it makes a huge difference. So
I just want to snap it up. This was so beautiful. It was like a thing you just did, like gives
I felt it. Okay. I
felt that you felt it. Yeah. you present this and you launch it. Like you telling Alan, like, hey, this is what I want to do, and then what happens?
So he ain't believing it. I'm gonna be honest. He was like, "Babe, are we actively trying?" I'm like, "Bruh, we've been trying." And again, we transparent. We're very transparent. We've been together for 10 years, and all our lives we ain't been truly saved. Can I say that? Can y'all understand that? So we've been doing things before, right? And but I'm delivered from it, so I can speak about it. Okay, so I'm okay to share. No condemnation, right? And so I'm like, yes, we have been actively trying. Like, what do you mean? And so it had to take him to get on board because he was like, he didn't understand at first. And I'm gonna let you speak for yourself. But yeah, like he got on board. And when I tell you, when he got on board, this is the muscle, okay, of this brand. He does everything. He does the shirts, the heat press. He does the design, the graphic design, and he does the photos. I tell you, when God gives you a dream, oh, I got stuff on my teeth. Excuse me, sis. When God, that's my thing. He's a blessing. When God gives you a dream, He will give you everything in your household. So I didn't have to go out for anything, and that's how I know it was a divine connection with this ministry because what I call it a ministry with this brand because he literally, Alan, when he got on board, he does it all. But I'm gonna let you talk while I get this lipstick off.
Gotta happen. Yeah, go ahead, Alan.
Yeah. So basically, when she proposed in 2020, we were still in the apartment.
School up, son?
It was 2020. We were still in the apartment, and when she bought it, I was acting on photography and everything like that. She's like, "Babe, I have an idea for a business," and selling was and everything. And I'm like, "Well, it's cool, but I got kids." But she was saying, "Are we really trying to have kids right now?" This and that. And I was totally. I'm not gonna say I was totally against it, but I was like, I think it's a little premature for the most part. So I wasn't with it. I wasn't with it for like 2 years. She only brought it up the one time, but and I'm gonna say this for the guys, right? Listen, when your wife tells you something, first of all,
excuse me,
being in tune with the Lord, right? And also make sure your wife is in tune with the Lord because if you don't, you really miss something that can change your life. So the first thing is being in tune with God. The second thing is listen and be open-minded. My thing was I really open-minded. I didn't understand what was going on so bad. What I ended up doing was shooting it down and it almost killed it. Like when she brought it up to me, I want to say 2 years from the day she brought it up to me, we did not work on nothing. We didn't have a business name. We didn't have no strategy, no nothing like that. And she brought it up again. When we not too long ago moved to Maryland, and she was saying like, "Hey, I really feel like God is saying," and I'm like, "Well, let's do it." At this point, I'm on board. So right after that, we went to an expo in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It's called Impressions. Basically, it's where t-shirt decorators they go and connect with the decorators, people that have the equipment and all that type of stuff, right? So I already know that I have a brand. It's kind of how I right now, but I was already know what I was going there for. And my wife, she was like, "Hey, I want to do this." I said, "Well, we're gonna go there first." So we went to the ride, and we were just walking around the place, and it got to a point where she just stopped me and we was there for what, man, like 6 hours. She stopped me in like the first hour and a half of our trip. I was like, "Hey, we need to sit down and talk." I'm like, "Well, what's going on?" She said, "Okay, I know what I want to do. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do it. What do we need? I'm liking this place. This place is like it's a little overwhelming, but I'm seeing a lot of stuff. I'm taking it all in. How do we do this?" And from there, I just kind of like based off of my own experience with my brand and some things that I learned from one of my ace, Boom Coons. T-shirt, side hustle, Stan Banks. Shout out to you, my guy.
Scoot up. I'm gonna scoot up a little bit. When Peaches is speaking fine, but when Alan speaks, it's kind of staticky.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, great. Okay.
I can hear you a whole lot better too. Okay.
My friend Whitney was like, they kind of staticky. Okay.
Oh, sorry, y'all. I apologize for that. We had a little technical difficulties.
But you're good now. I guess you're gonna have to switch AirPods every time y'all talk.
We might have to. I just thought about something funny. Let's find out with this little earphone. But no. What I was saying was that I learned the ropes from him. I learned the ropes from some other people, in the industry and everything like that, in the apparel industry. And we just went gung ho, like 100%.
Yeah.
That's nice. Really, yeah.
So then you launch it. Then tell us what happened. Yep. You launch it.
All right, we launched it, baby. What happened? Yeah, what happened when we launched it?
So when we launched it, oh my gosh, my beautiful sister, my Shiro, Lyanna, reached out to us and wanted to be our brand ambassador. Could not believe it. I knew he was doing it.
Alan, I think you need to give her the other AirPod.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay, sorry about that. No, so after we launched, listen, Lyanna Douglas, Hope Still Stands, my baby, my sister. She wanted to be our brand ambassador. It blew us away. We couldn't even believe it. Like, seriously, could not believe that she wanted to do this.
So how long you launched it? Then when did Lyanna reach out to you?
Okay, so we launched it. I want to say in September. It was like September 1st.
We launched September. We did all our shoots.
Can you hear Alan? Because I don't know if you. Okay.
I hear him.
We launched in September. We did all our shoots in
July.
Because just to make sure we have everything and have great time. We launched in September. We launched September 1st pre-orders. The store went live September 9th.
Yeah, it went live.
September 9th, something like that.
Yeah.
Then we were on an anniversary trip when Lyanna reached out to us. We were in Las Vegas, and we was in the hotel. He said, "Hey, I got a DM from somebody. I want to be a brand ambassador." Everybody knows if you start a business on Instagram, especially in the apparel business or anything like that, what happens is you get all these people in your DMs talking about, "Hey, listen, you want to be a brand ambassador for us, or can I be a brand ambassador for you, or hey, I can make this stuff a little bit better." Like,
hey, I got a whole bunch of mine response to yet. It just flooded with stuff. Like
yes, like everything. So what ended up happening was, she hit us up. I'm like, all right, babe. Let's vet this out. Let's make sure this is real. So we Pete DM'd her back. She said, "Hey, I don't have an issue, shoot me an email." Right? So she emailed. I was like, all right, let's take this one step further. Let's say this is really still real. So Peach put in the next email, or she put in the email her phone number and said, "Hey, I'm free this time. Can you talk?" And they were on the phone, and when she got off the phone, they was on the phone for like an hour and a half or something like that. She got off the phone, and not mind you, I'm listening like air hustling and all she do. They be laughing, and I'm like, "What's going on?" I'm thinking it's a meeting. What's up? They be laughing and carrying on. She come down to 6 like, "Babe, she's it." I'm like, "What you talking about? She is. She's it." And what she said was, "I feel like I'm talking to my sister." I'm like, "Oh," she said, "Yeah, no, like, babe, and her testimony is
and she wanted to be your brand ambassador. Like, that's very rare. That somebody says, "Hey, I want to be your brand ambassador."
I could not. When I tell you I could not believe it, I could not believe it, because that was our prayer. Because I just didn't want anybody, right? Just because they can style or they can do whatever. I just didn't want anybody. But when God gave me the whole package, okay, she gave me somebody that can style a beautiful spirit. And not only that, her story, when I tell you, when she told me her story, even though we were laughing during our conversation when I was talking to Lyanna, I cried because I could not believe her story. I could not believe what she went through, but I could not believe the power of God. Right. She went through everything, as y'all seen last week on your podcast. She went through everything, and God has blessed her with 2 beautiful children. And so I was like, God, if anybody could be a brand ambassador, she would be the only one that would qualify at this level, because you're telling me that there is nothing too hard. You're telling me, like, despite what you're going through, I can do it. You're telling me that, listen, you might feel a little down, you might be depressed, but baby, let me tell you about this one lady that I done blessed and brought her through with 2 uteruses, endometriosis, fibroids, PCOS. I said, God, I can't. I don't know what else to say.
Anna, listen, Anna. I know you watching. You a real rap on everything.
Like we love her.
You.
We love her. Love her.
Her energy is just so, I don't know. At the woman empowerment event, her energy is just so, like, she came in with her white just flowing, and it was just like, she has great energy she gives out. Like, that's rare a lot of times. Even you guys, like, just being a humble couple. And Peaches, I didn't know you was a whole therapist. Like, that's not something you be trying to keep on the low. Like,
I try to keep that, just a little bit on the low. But yeah, I've been a therapist, and honestly, the tools that I have learned truly helped us. Like, we know that we need to go to like a therapist for this, right? But the tools that were given to me, what I learned, like all these things, we've been helping each other. Now, that's not minimizing or dismissing help, because like I said, we still need to go and speak to somebody. Like, listen. But the fact that we can just talk in our communication is better. We're talking about, again, coping skills. We're talking about just the challenges that we are having and how to get over it, how to get through it. And therapy works, regardless if you're on this side or the other side, it works.
So are y'all in couples therapy?
So we were let me say this. We were in therapy. I want to say, like, before we got married, and then we still talk to our counselors, like, just periodically, if things are going on, we will call them. They'll just, oh my gosh, they'll pick up like anytime. And, just for check-ins and everything like that, because that's important. But I think, like, for like things like this that people can truly understand, just with infertility, because again, you don't hear about it in church. And if I could say this too, when I was at the empowerment experience, there was this couple that talked at the panel that their church has a ministry called the Waiting Room, just for people that are going through, fertility journey. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, if y'all were, not saying I would leave my church, but I was like, if I could just go and see what y'all do and bring it back to New Jersey, where we go to church at, this would be awesome, because so many people are suffering. But when you have that open space, that safe space for people, it brings them closer. So
yeah. And this is what I want to say about Topsis that says therapy is so important, especially during fertility struggles. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes. And I want to say this about social media and networking. That's another reason why I decided to create, Brown Girls Embrace, because I want to connect with people like myself. And you have just because you decided to put this brand out here, you was able to connect with Lyanna in a couple of days, like afterwards, like the connection, and God knew that you needed somebody that shared the same struggles that you was going through. Like,
yes,
I think it's awesome. Like, a lot of times people don't like social media because they feel like, oh, I'm putting all my business out there, but you can find a lot of great people who are like you from different part of the world. I'm sure you only live in different parts of Maryland. Like, even though y'all live in Maryland, she lives on one end, you live on another end. But y'all was able to come together and find that common ground to support each other as sisters that we don't do enough in the Black community, and talk about it. Like, and say, I went through this. She was able to share her story. You're able to share yours. And I did this, and y'all can kind of give each other tips. Well, I went to this doctor, or I did this, and I joined this people. And look what the beautiful thing have come. Like, I was able to meet you because, you know, of your connection with, you know, even my connection with, like, I think that social media is good for connections and finding people who go through similar things as you. So it's powerful.
I mean, even part of that too. And this is something that I learned. Not even I didn't learn it through the fertility journey, but just through church and interactions with like some of my college friends. Vulnerability is a magnet.
Yes, it
right?
is.
It's not a push factor. Like I teach my kids in school. Social studies room, so we talk about push and pull factors like migration and geography.
Please just give him the Okay, gotcha.
All right, cool. So vulnerability, what it does is it literally pulls everybody together, right? You can say, like, yo, man, like just something small. Yo, I stubbed my big toe. Oh man, you stubbed your big toe? I stubbed my big toe last week, man. Like something small like that. It pulls together people. It pulls together a whole community of people. The thing about vulnerability, I mean not vulnerability, but about trauma is that you have to also share your resources on how you got over it. Do not be the person that like all y'all do is connect. Man, I'm hurt. You still hurt? Yeah, it's trauma bonding. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I personally do not like that. I do not like trauma bonding for the simple fact that all you're doing is sitting there building a community based off of pain. There is no community based off of healing. There's no community based off of growth. Like my thing is, what they say, show me who your friends are and I'll show you who you are. Like, I don't want to be in a friend group of a bunch of hurt people. Like, somebody got to get healed out of. Like what they say, once you get out, reach back and then help stop pulling people out. Like that's my thing. Like reach back. You got healed. Show me how to get healed. Don't just be everybody just sitting and wallowing in a big bucket of sorrow.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And that's what I love about you guys. Is that you've been trying. I know you've been actively trying for a while. How long have you been actively trying to have a child?
How long has it been, babe? How long have we been actively trying?
Okay, so we can say for 5 years since we've been married.
Yeah, since we've been married since 2017.
And I say that to say is that
looking at ovulation calendars and stuff like that.
And that's another thing too is I want to hit the financial part a little bit later. But that's the thing that I love about you guys. Even though that y'all have been trying for 5 years, y'all not been like, oh, we can't do it. My body is messed up. His body is messed up. Let's just give up. Let's get a divorce. Like, let's give up on each other. Y'all just like, no, we're gonna stick in there. Let's come up with a brand. Let's come up with trying to connect with other people who are like us. Like, that's so encouraging and positive to do because a lot of people thrive off of negativity and they give up and they don't, like you said, they trauma bond and what was the emote. You guys are not doing that. Y'all giving, you're praying, you're doing other different ventures, you're connecting, you're doing this together. Like, and I think that's beautiful that you guys are having y'all building this garden together. Like, okay, we can't have a child right now, but we can build this business together. And that's the beautiful thing about it.
Right. It also goes along with the scripture. It says, I'm sorry, it's cool. It also goes along with the scripture where it says one person could put 1,000 in flight, but two could put 10,000 in flight. You get what I mean? Like you can do so much more with more people. Like you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong. Like I was talking to my cousin one time, and we were talking about I promise you, God teaches me through agriculture. I'm a city boy, but I got a country soul, right? Mm-hmm. So I learned a lot through farming. And one of the things that I learned was that like your future is not ahead of you. Your future is in you, right? So think about a seed, right? Where's the future? If you think about an apple, right? Where's the next apple tree at? You cut an apple down the middle, across the stem, you will see pods, and each pod has about 2 seeds. Whitney Stewart, I'm sorry, the brand is Hers Garden. Hers Garden. I'm sorry. I just see the pop up. I want to know.
Just to refresh, go ahead and tell her about your brand and why you started, because it's a few more people that joined the room since you guys came on.
Okay, our brand is called Hers Garden. It was founded by my wife, and she brought me on. And basically, what it is, it's a business to help. It's an apparel brand. First off, we sell shirts and apparel materials that inspire heterosexual married couples to believe in God as they go through their fertility journey. The Hers stands for Hannah, Elizabeth, Rachel, and Sarah. Those are 4 notable women in the Bible that were struggling to have a child, but at the end of the day, God blessed them with their heart's desire of giving birth to their children. Like I said, it's a brand that's for heterosexual married couples that are struggling. You know what I mean? We want to make sure that they have something that they can grab onto. You know what I mean? If they can't grab onto the therapy solutions or anything just yet, at least you can grab onto a shirt that offers some hope, or relieve a little bit of stress. You get what I mean? Just make sure you go through this with a little more ease, if that makes sense. Go through this, make this journey a little easier.
And I want to ask, has it been easier for y'all since y'all started the process of, start launching the business? Has it been a little bit more easier? Having things been since, you launched and, dealing with the fertility issues and everything like that?
I will say, has it been easier? We have our days, just to be honest. We have our days. Like, it'll be times where, like, a lot of you not. Like, me and Peach, we had a conversation one day. She said, "Babe, I'm not gonna lie." She said, if the first year of us doing this, if we would have a child, I would have stopped. We wouldn't have did this anymore.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because it's like you know what I mean. Like, we want a child, but it's like it's kind of like right now right now it's like the community is kind of bigger.
It's bigger than us.
It's a whole lot bigger than us. We're not the only ones that's going through this. And I feel like God is really shedding light on this and letting people know, like, yo, hey, like, you matter of fact, you're heard. I heard your cries. I seen your tears. There's other people out here that's like this, right? So, one, you're not alone. You know what I mean? And then at the same time, I also feel like it's one of those things where it's like we got to give God our best. We got to do our best and let God handle the rest.
That's all you can do at this point. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do your best to let God handle the rest. And when you do that, it takes so much stress off of you. When you understand that God is is what the Bible said, the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof, right? So once you understand that you are not your own, right? When you understand that. When you understand that, you know what I mean, you're not the only one in this community. When you understand that God is the God of all and He has sovereignty over everything, you're not really stressed out. Like, once you understand those things, it's like, all right, God, listen, you said you're gonna handle it, so all right, you handling it. I'm not putting my hands on this anymore. I'm not carrying these weights. Like, I say God is the ultimate bargain shopper. He takes all the trash stuff and give you all the good stuff.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, what it say? Israel got a song. I'm trading my sorrows. I'm trading my shame. I'm laying it down for the joy of the Lord. Like, what? Like, for my sadness, you're gonna give me happiness, or for not even happiness, you're gonna give me joy. Like, that's the difference between happiness and joy. Like, happiness is fleeting. Like, all right, going back to stub your toe. Let me go ahead and stub your toe one too many times. We're gonna see how much happiness you gonna have. You know what I mean? But joy is like even even in the midst of the pain, like I can feel the pain because I'm still alive.
Oh, that's a blessing in itself.
Facts. This is a big one.
Yeah.
Like even the fact that you can still feel. Like I was even telling Peach, like I was dealing with some stuff the last couple of weeks. I said, I'm tired of having wounds. I want scars. I'm gonna tell you the significance of that. A wound is basically something that's still active. There's still open pain. It's still, you know what I mean? Like there's still room for infection. You know what I mean? There's still room for disease and all that to creep in. But when you got a scar, it lets you know, yo, something happened to me, but I don't feel it anymore. I got the markings of it. I got the markings of it, but I'm healed. I'm healed from that thing. I don't what I need to be hurt anymore. I can tell you how it happened, but I can tell you how I also got healed by it too. I can tell you the process that I went through. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like even with Hers Garden, I feel like that's what this is. Like, we have a shirt out, and it was one of our biggest shirts. It's a all over print, not all over print, but on the very front of the shirt, it had all these different illnesses and things that women go through, you know, that would stop them from having a baby. But in the middle of it, it's a red X, and on the top of the X, it says nothing's too hard. Going back to sit there and say, it's a scripture in the Bible where God's not asking a question, but he's saying this as a statement of fact. I am the Lord. Is there anything too hard for me? And the answer is no. This is the same God that we serve that created the world in 6 days and rested on the seventh. But how did he create the world? He created it by speaking. You get what I'm saying? And he said, let there be light, and light was. You know what I'm saying? He created night and dark, and then boom, that was the first day. And then he created the earth. He said, let there be a difference between the land and the sea, and then it was. But if you look at it, just to give it a short version, it says, and God said, and he saw, and God said, and he saw, and God said, and he saw, and God said, and he saw. Like everything that he said would happen, happened. You get what I mean? So if he said all this by, come on now, if he said all this by talking, what makes you think that, like, what makes you think we need to be stressing when he has all this
right there.
Exactly.
Like, I want to address some comments. It's okay. I want to go back to Whitney. Whitney says the brand is your first baby. I totally agree.
Appreciate that, Whitney. Thank you.
And then Host Still Stand says, this whole conversation is blessing me, lesson into blessing, into testimony. Great is coming in the name of Jesus.
Thank you. And if I could speak to Whitney really quick, thank you for that. Even our where we operate our business at, we had to literally change our baby room to a business room, but it is our baby.
Oh my gosh, what?
Yes. And I'm telling you, it was hard at first because in faith, you know, we did buy a crib, right? And we didn't get to that part. Like we did buy these things. And then God was like, listen, don't worry. And so we took those things out, and this is where we created. So that's why I had to speak to this, because this is our first baby, and he is seeing how we're handling it. And it's just
y'all are raising it together. That's the part that I like. When a woman starts a business, the woman kind of do her own thing. Okay, I'm gonna just go on the computer, type up, be on Canva. I'm doing this by myself. You got your man doing like, okay, let's grow this. Like, okay, I do the t-shirts, you give me the idea, then I put it together and I do the photography. Y'all are nurturing thing like a baby. Like that's beautiful. Not a lot of men would step in and help their wives' business grow. And I think, like I told y'all yesterday, like y'all have something great. Island's a photographer on the side. You are a therapist. Then you have this brand together of apparels. Like y'all gonna do amazing things, and the baby will come is right. You will. You know, what if it's not? You don't have it naturally. Have y'all considered adoption?
We have considered a lot of things, and you know what? Either way it comes, we will be so grateful. That part, it's love is love. We'll be so grateful.
Yes. So. I just want to say thank you guys for just being a couple that sticks together, not rushing into a divorce because y'all had a couple of setbacks. Like, you know, being positive. This is what it's all about, like overcoming trauma. Like, y'all are going through it and y'all not being negative about it. Y'all saying, okay, let's start this brand. Let this be our baby. Okay, let me lose weight. Okay, let me do this. And that's beautiful. And I think that you should be commended and given flowers for that.
Thank you. Thank y'all. This was so awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Leslie. Man, this is our first time sharing our story. So thank you for just
sharing it with me. And I call it the talk tonight because it's usually called the Queen Talk, but since I was on, I called it the talk tonight. So
appreciate it.
I'm gonna address some of these comments before we get off. Whitney says, agree. Faith as small as mustard seeds. God sees the seam and the desire of your heart and will come. Yes. And Homestead Plan says, whatever God does, it still stands a miracle after your journey. Yes. So what are you guys having coming up next? Like any events, any new apparel coming up? Give us, your website, drop it in the link,
Okay, so next we are, we don't have any pop-ups or anything, no events coming up yet. I don't think so. But we do have a new shirt that will be coming out, and it is called, why am I forgetting it right now?
Hail to Hope Again.
Hail to Hope Again, which is huge. I don't know why I was like, it was literally, we had a redesign, but it's literally like just going from pain to, praise, honestly, getting healed from everything. So Heal to Hope Again, that's coming out. What other things are about to happen for us, honey? Anything?
I just look for
just for those social media. We are our website is www.hurst_garden.com.
No, wait, what
that's the website.
No, it's not.
What's the website?
All right, website.
I thought that was the website.
No, you mixing the website with Instagram.
Okay, go ahead for me. Help me.
Website www.hers-garden.com.
I'm sorry.
We'll drop the link.
We'll drop the link. Okay, we will do that. It's a lot of social media.
Yeah, it's when the podcast is done in the comments, I can drop the link. But follow her. I think that y'all name is on here. It's like Her Gardens right there on their title right there. Her Garden. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. A lot of media. No, but thank you guys for joining me. Keep up the good work. I'm rooting for you. I'll be watching. Like I told you, when that baby comes, I'm gonna be right there. Like, yes, I did it. I'm so happy they overcame this, and I know it's gonna happen. Oh, for you, yes. All right. Thank you, Leslie. See y'all. Thank you. Bye. Bye.